Imagine feeling a crushing weight on your chest, struggling to even breathe, and yet being too afraid to ask for help. Not because help doesn't exist, but because you fear that you'll be judged for seeking help in the first place. This is the unfortunate daily reality of millions of people who struggle with mental health illness. People who are hidden in plain sight due to the discrimination and stigma in our society. It's time that we change this narrative. And through multimedia sources campaigning for mental health awareness, millions of people can be more aware of the stigma in our society, and the fear of seeking help will be diminished. Although the effectiveness for the treatments for mental health illnesses has improved over the years, people who have such disorders choose not to seek them in the first place. Stigma is one of several reasons why people make such choices. And in the article, How Stigma Interferes with Mental Health Care, written by Patrick Horgan, he points out that regardless of the effectiveness of the treatment, only about 30% of people who were diagnosed with such psychiatric disorders actually choose to seek treatment in the first place. And to go a step further, within this 30% of people who seek treatment, only about 40% of those remain on a consistent treatment basis. But perhaps these small percentages represent those with more minor psychological disorders. Or perhaps these small percentages represents those who choose brief psychological discomfort rather than engaging with mental health care providers. However, additional analysis doesn't really support this claim. The de facto U.S. Mental and Addictive Disorder Services, published by JAMA Psychiatry, found that although somewhat better, a little less than 40% of those who were diagnosed with a more significant psychological disorder, such as schizophrenia, failed to seek treatment. And these people within this 40% were just as likely to remain on a consistent treatment basis as those who had more minor psychological disorders. Stigma harms people who are labeled as mentally ill in many ways. Stereotypes, prejudice, and discrimination can rob these people of achieving important life events. Patrick Horgan once again touches on this subject by mentioning that public stereotypes about mental illness have a significant impact in obtaining jobs, keeping these jobs, as well as leasing safe housing. The devastating effects of stigma behind mental health in our society is very clear. It causes discrimination. It causes stereotypes, it causes prejudice in our society, and it can even prevent those who need help from seeking treatment in the first place. To combat this, we have to take proactive steps. A step in the right direction to counteract this stigma is making other people more aware of its existence in our society. But how do you spread a message as important as mental health awareness efficiently, effectively, and to a large group of people all around the globe? Well, one effective method of spreading a message quickly is by using the influence of social media. The article Viral Journalism by Anastasia relates viral communication to spreading like wildfire, efficiently, quickly, to large groups of people. Social media is an immensely powerful source. It can help individuals frame opinions. It can alter perceptions and even alter perceptions around events and issues. In the article, Social Media Campaigns Can Make a Difference by Becky Freeman, she found that by using social media platforms, you can even change the user's behaviors. And these platforms are especially effective in recruiting participants and motivating them to make small, concrete actions. With the vast potential of social media to reach and engage diverse audiences, it's clear that a strategic campaign can significantly reduce mental health stigma. Now let's see some examples of how social media campaigns and understand why it's so effective in our society. There are many examples of how social media campaigns have been effective in our society in the past. Personally, I remember Twitter being used. Back in 2013, when the Boston Marathon was bombed, Twitter was used to live broadcast the events of the bombing. It broadcasted the state that Boston was in, as well as what people were harmed, giving insight to medical health care providers on who to help and where to go. Another good example campaigns being used on social media platforms in our society are with businesses. Businesses use social media campaigns to push new products into the public. The article, The Impact of Social Media Campaigns on the Success of a New Product Introduction, written by Daniela Baum, goes into detail on how social media is a useful tool for businesses all around the globe. Daniela touches on the speed information spreads on social media and how implementing social media campaigns, firms often use social networking sites to spread new product information. She ran a study on an online community where she assessed their attention, their attitude, their sense of community, their credibility, as well as their intention to recommend a product after viewing an advertisement or a social media campaign on social media. She found that using campaigns were especially effective at spreading awareness of the new product as well as the information about the new product. It also raised a higher sense of community, which both of those things combined created a more positive attitude towards this new product. Her study proves that campaigning would raise more awareness around the stigma behind mental health, as well as raise awareness quickly and efficiently and create a community of acceptance. These examples demonstrate the undeniable power of social media to transform the public perception and dismantle the stigma surrounding mental health. Now, as we look towards the future, it's crucial to recognize that by committing to these efforts, we can create a more compassionate and understanding society. So let's bring everything together. Let's see why this call of action is imperative to all of us. First, we have to recognize the problem in our society. We have to understand that there is a stigma regarding mental health, and this stigma can be very harmful to our society. It prevents those with these disorders from seeking help. It makes them feel prejudiced. It makes them feel discriminated against and creates harmful stereotypes for these people. So how might we diminish this stigma in our society? Well, we can campaign on social media for it. We need to raise awareness, show other people that this stigma is indeed in our society. Imagine a future where no one is afraid to seek help, where mental health is understood and accepted and supported by our reach. By harnessing the power of social media, we can break down the barriers of this stigma. We can build a society where everyone feels safe to seek help. So let's commit to this change. Let's be the voice for those who have been silenced for too long. Together, we can make a profound change, one post, one share, one campaign at a time. And here is it's my keyword outline. It's a little long.